I was living in the prehistoric era with Dinosaur. It was beautiful. Hi everyone, my name is Halina and today I'm covering second week of 2021. So let's go into the books. I really enjoyed that week. It was amazing because every day I read comics that I loved with my whole heart, and it was such a positive impression on the genre. First book was American Born Chinese by Dan Luen. There were three stories, two of Americans, their experience in school, and one of a Chinese monkey from a Chinese legend, and all the three stories were coming together in a beautiful way, and the ending was so unexpected and sweet. I really loved the art style, I loved the humor in it, and there were a lot of cultural references that I didn't get easily, but it was interesting for me to research and to understand better something that I never touched. I have never been to China, I have never been to America, I have never been acquainted with someone who had this particular experience, so it was really eye-opening for me. The second one was a totally different work by Fabien, Vehlmann and Kerascoët. It was a beautiful darkness, and it was beautiful and dark, which is obvious by the name, but the art in it was fascinating. It was something else. It was eye-catching, it was truly magical, and the story itself was incredible. I cannot even tell the plot. I just advise you to not look into any plot descriptions, into any blurbs, into any reviews. Just if you want something truly disgusting and dark and mind-blowing, that's the story for you. So cruel, and in such a little details, such a little disgusting, very truthful and realistic details that honestly I don't think I would recommend it to anyone. But I enjoyed it a lot, and it was just it was everything coming together with this beautiful artwork and beautiful mind-blowing plot. That's a real piece of art, I would say, and I heavily enjoyed it, even though again I won't recommend it. But if you want something really unusual, I guess that's for you. Cece Bell's El Deafo, colored by David Lasky. It was great. It was a story about a little girl who losing her ability to hear slowly, and she has to deal with all the hearing aids, which were not as good and progressive as what people have today, so it was big and heavy and very visible. I loved how the people were depicted as rabbits, and I really loved the story itself, how it revealed a lot of small day-to-day difficulties that the girl had to go through. It was like a new window to someone else's life and experience, and I just adored it a lot. I'm so grateful for Cece Bell to present this book to the world. And the next 4 books that I read were wordless comics about day-to-day slice of life of animals, drawn in a very realistic way and in very beautiful and vivid colors. There was a series that's called Love by Frédéric Brrémaud and Federico Bertolucci. This series contains the tiger, the fox, the lion and the dinosaur, which is pretty obvious that the main character of each of the story is the animal after which the story is named. That was something else. I loved it so much. The art is gorgeous, beyond gorgeous, I would say. I recommended it to every person who I knew in my life. I made my family read it, I made my friends read it, and it's really an easy read because there is no words in the panels. There is just, action, movement, beautiful scenery, and beautiful imagery of the animals, very realistic one, but at the same time very emotional one, and you can easily get the plot, you can easily get the feelings that author put in these animals by their face expressions. And I liked how the realism and the imaginary and the whole action-packed plot was coming together in this series. The color were gorgeous and it worked for me, and I think that will work for many other people. I do recommend it to children, to parents, to anyone who love animals and who want to see something beautiful. It's a silent comics, but at the same time I spend a lot of time just wandering around this beautiful illustration. I was just admiring art so much that it took me probably a bit more than just, I wasn't reading like I was living there. I was living in these jungles. I was living in the prehistoric era with Dinosaur. It was beautiful. I'm excited for this journey. This week I remember very vividly, I remember in rich colors how after reading all of these 7 beautiful books, very different, all of them are very different from each other, and they have very less in common. I mean, they have my 5 stars that I gave them in common, but everything else is very different inside of them. But I remember how it set me for success. Like, I was so excited to continue the journey of this year when I'm trying to read 365 graphic novels, so like 1 graphic novel per day, and it just made me so good. Please share your opinions on these comics if you read them in the comments or if you want to read them, and see you soon. Bye.